All you ever wanna do is play. So let's play.
Yeah. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke,
yeah, well, we can hold the peace so we can wage war, but I'm gonna get what I came for. Real gang, that's a crew name. We all graduated to the two-door. Sacred Global, that's an infrastructure. All y'all niggas like the Titanic. I'm the iceberg, talking no Zucker on the front lines, but we don't panic. Shit getting messy, got nothing to rest, and I'm tired of niggas. They front they blessings, they want my suggestion, but don't want the fee. I'm just doing me, I don't answer their questions. All this flexing, got no one to see. All this aggression, I just want some peace. Not even sure that I like it in heaven. I guess when we get there, then we gon' see. I do not understand, I do not get what you do. You only got one life, but you act like you got two. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with king, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
Hey, y'all some jokers, y'all a bunch of clowns. You will not get a laugh out of me. You can talk, but you can't denounce. I live a different theology. Why I transferred to a new account? You just fucked over a prodigy. Posted up with a rented crown.
You are the king and apology.
You about to see a new side of me, I hope you know. We stand alone, watch our enemy go. Empire fall, my legacy grows. I might just hop on this melody flow. All this vision, no clarity though. Y'all play a game that I bear in my soul. Ebony ivory, nobody knows. Business vasectomy, nothing can grow. Everyone promises more than they actually do. We don't deliver on anything other than truth. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with kings, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised. Go to the fucking gym.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
How dare you?
Bye.
Your fat phobia?
No! No!
People are suffering. People are dying.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia? It's your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Swole normal.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. 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 Testicles. Ooh, welcome everyone to episode 23 Hundo and Setenta y Cinco of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2 Flexin' on all you beaches.
Yeah, it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
All right, famwise, welcome to the show. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, all that good shit. Today is the Red, White, and Swole Sunday Fun Day, Q and Anus. We got a lot of Q. We got a lot of Qs, and I'm sure we have plenty of Brown Eye. We have a lot of answers. We got some calls. We'll take some live questions. We got some from Shitstagram. So if you got questions, you can start dropping them in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Now, of course, tomorrow is our weekly accountability meeting. So if you are not a member of the fam, this is your call. This is your curtain call for tomorrow. Tomorrow's November the 7th. Tomorrow, November 7th, 12 noon Eastern time, we have brand new releases. We have awesome Swole fan posts and private member Q&A tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time, exclusively for members of the Swole fam. So join us today over at swolenormousx.com. Not to mention, we also have amazing specials going on for unlimited memberships. So see you there. Okay, now let's see. Before we wrap that up, a couple other announcements. Let me just bring these screens over a little bit. We talked about the accountability meeting, and of course, Josh, you're absolutely right. We have P3S5 rapidly approaching. All right, so remember, it's on the day every 100 episodes. We release an exclusive signature series. 2,400, so in 25 days. So December 1st, we have P3S5 dropping. You're going to hear a whole lot more about that as we ramp up into it, but very excited for December 1st. It's going to be fucking lit like it always is. So get ready for that. 24 hours available from midnight to midnight on the date 12/1/22. Papa Swolio's 5th release of the signature series. So let's get into it. Let's start getting these questions going. Drop in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Let's summon the Falcon, and let's get today's party started. Fuck yeah. Let's go, beaches. What'd you smash today? Drop in the comments. All right, super sweet. We got a little Swole privilege going down. Hashtag Swole privilege for a chance to win today's Swole card. Drop that down below. Swole privilege, fam. Swole motherfucking privilege. All right, we got a little Tainty Man. Oh, Rufus, the Tainty Man. As you know, only the Tainty Man can. All right, drop your questions in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Let's start off today with a call. Let's jump into our first caller. We got Clancy on the line. Clancy, you're live on the Sleazecast.
Hey, Papa Swolio. I wanted to know how you get rid of a skinny fat aesthetic. I have not a lot, but I have some fat on my torso and back, chest area, but I don't have a lot of fat or pretty much any on my arms and legs. And I exercise right, I'm in a calorie deficit, I drink water, I do everything I'm supposed to, but it doesn't seem like I can ever get rid of it. It's been there for years. I'm just wondering if you have any suggestions. I love the content, man. Keep it up.
Thank you, Clancy. Appreciate the call. First off, sounds like you're not lifting heavy. You exercise. Do you lift heavy weights? Are you trying to put on muscle? Sounds like you're in a calorie deficit, which is not going to help you pack on mass. If you have a lot of body fat to lose, if you're obese, you can be in a calorie deficit, but it's more important that the food quality is on point. So I definitely recommend you jump on an elimination diet. I definitely recommend you start cutting out a lot of these estrogenic foods in your environment. And these things can come from, they can come from, of course, things like smoking. They can come from alcohol. They can come from shampoos and deodorants and a lot of these household cleaners, colognes, a lot of these things that can actually interrupt the endocrine system and lead you to having elevated levels of estrogen, can cause more water retention, body fat, and a lot more harm. It sounds like you need more protein, you need more quality food, probably better sleep. If you're skinny fat, it means you don't have muscle. Straight up, you're skinny fat. You don't have muscle. You're in a calorie deficit. You're trying to cut. And this is, and I'm going to rant a little bit. This is not for you in particular, Clancy. This is for, in general, people that are trying to cut. A lot of people are skinny fat and they say, how do I lean out? I'm trying to shred out. Shred to what? Shred to what? Clancy, what are you shredding to? What are you cutting to? There's nothing there to cut to. You need more mass. You need more lean mass. So you didn't get into specifics with this. So I'd like to hear a little bit more. If you're listening to this answer, make sure you call back in and give a little more follow-up. I would love to hear about your training habits, like what you're doing, what you're eating. I don't give a fuck about the calorie deficit. That's the least interesting thing. I know a lot of people harp on calorie deficit, but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yes, energy balance matters, but not the expense of food quality. So I want to know what you're eating. I want to know what you're doing during the day. I want to know what, a week in the life of Clancy is. I want to know what you're doing for training, but it sounds like your sleep needs to improve. Your environment needs to improve, probably hydration, electrolytes, but also making sure that you're getting in real quality food and lifting some heavy fucking weights. I don't know what exercise means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Clance. I don't know what that means. But thanks for the call, and maybe you can follow up with that. Enough of these fucking calorie deficits, fam. You're trying to put on mass. You're not going to be able to do that in a calorie deficit. Because remember, in general, and here's the problem with the term a calorie deficit, you're not trying to lose weight. You want to lose fat. You want to build and maintain muscle. So when people are trying to do this calorie deficit, that's for weight loss. And we have to stop saying the term weight loss. We have to start talking about fat loss. Because weight loss just means, hey, the scale's going down. You could do that by starving yourself. You'll lose lean mass too. You'll lose muscle mass too. You don't want to do that. You want to maintain lean mass. You want to get rid of the rest of the stuff, right? So you want fat loss, not weight loss. And in a calorie deficit, your body is not even maintaining. So you're going to be sacrificing all sorts of tissue, lean and extra. But mostly your body is going to break down, especially if you're not getting enough protein, your body is going to break down muscle tissue. Medea, Papa Soy, in your opinion, is body recomp gaining muscle while losing body fat at the same time possible? It's just very unlikely, and most people don't really do that. They think they do, or they try to walk this tightrope. It's not really even worthwhile considering, in my opinion. So, which is why you're asking me, because my opinion, you should be focusing on building muscle in maybe a slight caloric surplus, but that should be probably mostly protein in that surplus. Doesn't mean you're stuffing your face with extra garbage. It just means you're putting your body in a positive nitrogen balance in which it has the materials in order to rebuild the tissues properly. You can build some muscle and lose fat if you're brand new to the gym, if you have a ton of extra body fat to lose. Like if you're obese, you can do both at the same time to a point or to an extent. And if you haven't been in the gym for a while. So if you've been out of training for like several months, you're kind of falling out of it, you're going to pop some muscle back on. You might recomp a little bit in that sense. But people are trying to, like, for example, Clancy, he's in a position where he needs to put on some fucking lean mass. So if worrying about recomping when you're skinny fat, you need to focus on building muscle, lifting heavy, increasing strength, focusing on building muscle, up the protein, get rid of the inflammatory foods, get rid of the water weight, increase the quality of sleep. These are a lot of little micro habits that Clancy, for example, needs to focus on. Most people that are focusing on recomp need to just fucking build muscle. You need that mindset. You got to stop. This life isn't a tightrope. You're just kind of like balancing. Oh, I want to do a little bit. You're micromanaging. It's really hard to put your body in a 100 calorie surplus because it's really hard to quantify how many calories you need to utilize. It's going to be different every day. It's going to be different every day. So you need to make sure you're getting in sufficient protein. You need to make sure you're getting in sufficient caloric intake if you're trying to put on size. And it's not going to be exactly to a T. It's very hard to know how much you're burning because the more muscle you build, and as you build, you utilize more muscle or more energy at rest. And when we talk about calorie deficit, a lot of people aren't talking about the nutrient density of the foods or calorie surplus. It's what foods you're consuming and what type of foods you're consuming. So you're much better off if you're eating around maintenance or maybe a slight surplus when you're eating nutrient dense foods like we talk about, rather than in a surplus when you're eating shit, because you're not getting in the micronutrients, even though you're getting excessive energy, and your body, you're going to have a lot more water retention. You're going to have a lot less effective and less efficient repair. It's not about calories. It's not about just calories. So anyone that's focusing on just calories or saying, oh, well, I have 100 more calories, let me just fill that up with fat or carbs, that's the worst way to go about it. You should be focusing on the food quality and then quantifying the caloric needs after you get for the quantity, or quality. So quality comes first, and then you increase the quantity of those foods in order to reach your caloric needs. Frank, Papa Swolio was recently told to up my reps and drop the weight to become more defined. Is this good information? And what else could I do to achieve definition? That's not how it works. There's no that doesn't make sense. That's just nonsense. You're going to do more repetitions and all of a sudden get shredded. Like, you want to become more defined. That's losing more fat. You need to lose extra body fat. So you need to build muscle. You need to maybe cut back on the carbohydrates a little bit. You'll flush out some extra water weight. But I mean, in terms of, get better sleep, sauna, cold therapy, things like that, changing the repetitions and things like that's not going to get you more defined. It's really going to come down to your nutrition and how you're managing that. Because definition is just you having less body fat on top of your muscles so you can see it better. Doing 15 to 20 reps versus 8 to 10 is not going to make you leaner. Okay, let's take another good call, or good questions, good call. And let's take another one. This one's from Alex D. Alex is bringing the D. What up, Alex? You're on the Swole.
Hey, Papa Swolio. Love the podcast. Just a sit back workout. Just need to a little bit of context before I ask my question. You see, so I'm 6'2", 85 kilos, and give or take, my maintenance calories is about 3,500. Now, I'm trying to gain weight at the moment, so I'm trying to bulk in the range of 4,000 calories, and it's very difficult to do that. You've said it yourself more than once. It's very difficult to do that with good quality food. I've got an ox's heart in the fridge. I eat a lot of organ meats, eat a lot of good quality food, and it's very. And my worry is, I'm struggling at the moment to gain weight on the food I have. So, are there any foods I should be looking out for which will help me gain that weight, or anything like that? Because it's fucking difficult at the moment. All right, and I also have 5 seconds left, so I volunteer for the UK division of the Dick Draft.
Look at that! Look at that! At the buzzer. At the buzzer. Thank you for your service. What a brave young lad. The UK division. Oh man, we got you on the Fat Doctor. We got you on the Fat Doctor. So you're in the UK. We need you.
Ever served in a forward area?
We need you with the Fat Doctor. Oof, that's a rough pull. You volunteered for that. My God, your sacrifice will always be remembered. He'll go down in the annals of the Daily Swole. Jesus Christ. So you maintain on 3,500 calories. So you're having trouble gaining weight. I mean, that's an active taint over there. We got a live taint. We got a live taint. So let me see if I got that correctly. You're eating 3,500 calories and you're maintaining. Oof. I don't really know much about, you said you're eating proteins, organ meats. I'm assuming you're keeping track of it. Yeah, it is hard. It is hard to eat more food. I find it a little bit hard to believe that you're maintaining on 3,500 calories. That's a shitload. That's a lot. That's a lot. But what's 6'2", 85 kilos? So that's what? What's 85? What's 85 kilos? Times 2.2. What is that, like 185? 190? What's that? Someone do that. 85 times 2.2. It's 160, it's 170, so it's like 185 or something like that. I know someone's going to drop in the chat. About 180. Yeah. Well, bottom line, it's going to be hard. Like, it's hard to get bigger. It's hard to get bigger. Now, the reason why people go sloppy and they have protein shakes aren't necessarily bad in themselves. You might want to go down that route in terms of like some grass-fed whey isolate or something like that. Maybe some raw milk. I mean, it depends on how your body digests it. Depends on the quantity, but that's why a lot of people go to liquid calories or processed foods, because it's easier to get just raw calories, but you're sucking down a lot of vegetable oils and inflammatory components. It's not really the best option. So I'm trying to remember everything that you said because you filled up that minute. So it was a lot. So I don't know if you say you're doing eggs, you're doing protein. I mean, that's a lot of calories, 3,500, and you're not gaining weight. That's a lot. That's a lot. It seems like you should be. Seems like you probably would be bulking a little bit at that. Wondering what the details or how closely you track that. But bottom line, eating more, smaller meals more frequently. You might want to do something like shakes. You might want to look into maybe some other types of foods that might be more easily absorbed. Are you cooking in beef tallow? Like, these are things that you can utilize, or grass-fed butter. You're getting your organ meats, said your steak, sweet potatoes. I'm not sure what else you said you were eating. Eggs are a really great way to get an extra food, but smaller meals, you're trying to bulk, smaller meals more frequently. There's really no other way around it. Obviously, you can get your calories in some shitty places, but then you're going to pack on more fat, and it's not necessarily going to be the healthiest thing. Bulking isn't really the healthiest thing. It truly isn't, because you're overeating, you're stuffing your body, but you're doing it to put on muscle mass. So what you really want to do is you want to put on lean mass. You don't want to just put on extra weight. You just want to get fat. So you're going to have to eat sufficient protein. You're going to have to be training hard. And really what you can do is play around with the carbohydrates. Fat, of course, maybe up your fat intake. That's a great way to get in a lot of extra utilized energy. Avocados. I mean, bone broth is excellent. Using tallow, grass-fed butter, maybe some ideas right there. But meat and fruit, dates are great. Things like white rice, sweet potatoes, raw honey. I mean, these are things that I eat, and honestly, you just have to eat more of it. And that's a challenge. That's a challenge. So based on what you were saying, it sounds like you kind of have an idea. I don't know what the structure is. I don't think, does anyone remember if he said anything about the structure of his eating protocols? Because what I always reinforce is that I bulked. I know how to do it. I know how to put on a lot of size, and I'm not trying to keep on packing on more. I'm not overeating. I'm not getting that analytical with my current nutritional approach right now. I'm not trying to gain. I'm putting on muscle, but I don't have a goal of like, I want to be 220 or something like that. But it's hard. Remember, when you are gaining, when you're eating in excess, your body doesn't need that. Your body doesn't want to build more muscle. It doesn't want to. Understand? It doesn't want to build muscle. But it will if it has to. And this is what a lot of people don't understand about bulking. When you're putting on muscle, when you're forcing your body to build lean muscle tissue, it doesn't want to, but it will if it has to. If you constantly put it in an environment where it's getting stressed, if you're constantly backing into a corner where you're breaking down the muscle fibers, you're adding this stress day in and day out, your body's going to say, fuck this hurts, I need to adapt to this situation. And if you're not doing it too much to the point where you're getting injured, your body eventually will start adapting and build thicker, more dense muscle in order to handle that stress. And that then, of course, you need to increase the stress, and that's progressive overload. So it's very important to make sure that you understand that your body doesn't want to do this. You have to force it to do it. And eating is much harder than the training. Training is savage, but the nutrition in order to trigger or to give your body the tools in order to build that is very important too. So I think I still need a little bit more context. But obviously, if you're not gaining, I don't know how you're measuring that, if you're how you're measuring whether or not you're gaining or not, but you need to eat more. You need to eat frequently. So it could be a nutrient timing. I don't know what time you're getting up, but start getting up, eating early, and eating smaller meals throughout the day to get that food in. Maybe need a little bit more context. Hopefully that works. Josh trying to figure out microphone so it can work on podcast. Oh, you have any questions? I know a thing or two about podcasting, Josh. You have what, a Blue Yeti? Is that what you got? Someone said that? If you got any questions, you could drop it. Is that an XLR mic or is that a USB? What's your issue with the audio? I always recommend, USB mics are okay, but you might get some background noise, not as quality as XLR. If you do have questions, I know a thing or two about man casting. All right. Before we get into some more questions, we do have a couple more calls. And anyone that submits a call, if you're listening later, don't think that you used up your call and you can't call back in. So because you're not live, you're submitting a question. If you hear something and you want to follow up, call back in and just give me a little more context. Like, hey, I called the other day about X, Y, and Z, and then follow up. You're totally fine. It's not like, hey, you called in once, you can't call in again. Call back in and give us a little follow up and we'll continue. Not to mention, go check out the brand new drops over there at papaswolio.com. We talked about the brand new shirt. Santa has diabetes. That's a nice one. Santa's coming to town. He's got the beatus. And of course, we have Frosty the Swole Man. Go to the fucking gym. And you're a swole one, Mr. Grinch. Go check out all those brand new designs over there at papaswolio.com. Use code DailySwole for 10% off. We also have the Happy Thanks Gaining. So fucking swole. So swole. And if you notice, right on the neck jowls, the little ball sack, you got the little beard logo there. So a little Easter egg for you. So go check out all those designs. Remember, with orders over 75, you get a free ringtone. We got ringtones and alarms over there now, too. So go check it out. papaswolio.com. Josh says, seems like once I plug it in, audio goes out. That's weird. Is it USB? That's strange. Do you have audio settings on your computer to the right audio in or audio output? Why would it go out? So you plug it in and it doesn't work? Is it getting power? Like, what kind of mic is it? Is it XLR? Is it USB? I think those you can get it XLR. You have the option of which one to get. Anyway, you could follow up if you have questions about it. Let's see. Gaspardi David on Instagram. Gaspardi is David. Whatever. How bad is sugar to get bigger if you go 4 times a week to the fucking gym? How bad is sugar? Sugar is not bad in itself. It depends on like the context. If you're eating processed sugar, it's really not good for you. You're getting nutrient void food, and it's not good for your body. Spiking insulin, sending your blood sugar through the fucking roof. It's better if you get it in terms of like fruit, like raw honey, dates, sugar. Fruit like berries, that type of sugar, the sucrose, the glucose and fructose, those types of combinations, because it will slow the absorption to the bloodstream. When you say how bad is sugar, like drinking soda, all that kind of shit. Chips, all these processed carbohydrates are essentially sugar and different types of cornstarch and stuff like that, and soy. So, how bad? I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, if you drink a soda, you're going to die. I've consumed plenty of soda in my life, and I won't again because it's literally chemical garbage. So over the years, I have refined and dramatically improved my outlook and my understanding of what's in these foods and the consequences. So are you going to have a soda and just drop dead? Of course not. If you do, you probably choked on it. So yeah, it's not good for you. It's really bad for you. So it's up to you. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's good or tell you that you should drink it. So how bad is it? I think it's really bad for you. But a lot of people are going to make the justification. Well, it's like, well, you only live once, or I'm just going to have it now. Doesn't make it good for you. So it's literally industrial waste. Okay. Josh, do you have a Mac or do you have a PC? If it's USB, it's probably getting power. That's why sometimes you get background noise with USB, because it powers from the USB. But it could be your audio input or your output. May have to change your settings or something. Do you have headphones so you can hear the feedback? All right. Let's see, Yvonne, why would you continue to eat something that you know is bad for you just because you exercise? It doesn't negate the negative impact. Yeah, people think that they can, I train so I can eat garbage. Look, if you're just looking to maintain like a body weight and like, hey, I'm not getting fat. Like, could I train and then eat pizza? I could eat that shit. I could eat crap. I've done it and I feel so much better not doing it. And most of these people don't realize how detrimental it is because they've never removed it from their nutrition. They've never done elimination. They've never experienced how these foods make them feel. Or they think that having bloating is normal after a meal. It's not normal. It's an autoimmune response. And the reason why they don't feel like a seismic nuclear bomb going off in their guts because their body is used to it. They have a lot of leaky gut. They have a lot of constant inflammation that their body is used to fighting off. Doesn't make it better. It's like an alcoholic needing 8 drinks instead of 6 to feel a buzz. It's like your body has reached like a threshold where it's trying to find a new normal or a balance, but most people are dealing with chronic inflammation and leads to a lot of like mental disorders and other sorts of issues, psoriasis and eczema and joint pain and migraines and, you know, getting sick all the time, shit like that. So a lot of people want to justify it. Be like, hey, I'm not fat, so I can eat this garbage. I train so I can eat shit. It doesn't make sense. Because a lot of people just want to look a certain way. And just because you have muscles in some definition doesn't mean you're healthy. So this health at every size is ridiculous. Just because you're skinny or you're not horizontal more than vertical doesn't mean that you're healthy. If you're obese, you're definitely not doing well. But if you're thinner, doesn't mean that you're healthy too. You can have type 2 diabetes and be thin. You can have heart disease. You can have cancer. You can have bone issues and osteoporosis and shit like that. All right. And so those kinds of subjective things, like how bad is it? Like, I think it's fucking terrible. Like, people are asking me these questions, trying to find like, oh, some kind of justification. Like, oh, maybe I can have a little bit. It's just, a lot of people aren't there yet though. So I also recognize that, okay, I've been on this journey for a long time. And I'm not a saint in the sense, like, it doesn't make you an evil person when you eat this shit, but you start recognizing and learning more and you can't ignore it. And for me, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to do something that I don't do or tell you not to do something. So like I always say, I'm not like practicing what I preach what I practice. Like, this is what I do. So I'm sharing what I do with you. But I do understand that if you are at the beginning of your journey, like, oh, I need to get healthier, and you hear what I'm talking about, it's going to seem, oh my God, that's ridiculous. That's why we say, hey, start with the elimination diet. Start with this. You start with one fucking thing. Start with it. Atomic habits, right? Start with one thing. So I'm not saying, hey, you should do everything. Some people like to jump in and do all this stuff. Fine. But it's not necessarily the most successful way, but it's a great way for people to feel overwhelmed and I'm never going to do anything just because it seems like a lot. Well, I mean, if you're an expert or you're very well seasoned or experienced in anything, it's going to be overwhelming. When I started doing this podcast, if I had all this shit in front of me that I do now, I'd be like, what the fuck? I would adapt to it pretty quickly. But there's also a reason why I didn't have all these things. I didn't know what I needed. And as I needed more things or as I wanted to change things or add something else to the show or improve, I just added things as I went. I just started. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They just ask questions and they think and they talk and they look and they research and they without actually fucking doing anything. There we go. Fucking do it.
I give it a 10. A 10. A fucking 10.
Henry in the Daily Swole Telegram. What's your opinion on the anabolic window? Is it important? Is it a must? It's not. It's not. The anabolic window is kind of a silly thing. I mean, personally, after I train, I do like to eat, but it's not like, oh my God, 30 minutes, I'm not going to make gains. It's just not true. But personally, after I train, I just want to fucking eat. I just want to eat because I train for a while. I don't rush my workouts. I train for a while. I do a lot of stuff. I'm also not like, you have to work out 45 minutes only. It's like, take my time and I enjoy it. So I'll lift for a couple hours. But I'll also go outside and I'll do some light mace stuff, and the dogs are outside, and I'll do some maybe some clubs. I start doing like heavy mace for a while, and I'll do like maybe going up to like some heavy mace, and I'm really warmed up. For a lot of people that would be a workout, but then I'll kind of rest for a little bit, get some more water, fill back up, and then maybe set up some stuff for like, let's say, back and some bicep work or something else. So I kind of do it like in 2 segments, but I spread it out. I also really enjoy training. And it's fun. It's like my moving meditation. I enjoy it. So the beauty of training at home, I can do a lot of different stuff and do it at my own pace. But in terms of eating right after, like I want to eat right after. Sometimes I'll have a little bit before or during, like I'll, in the middle of a workout, I'll just go and take a couple spoonfuls of raw honey or something like that, or eat a couple dates, or have some like chew on a piece of like dried mango or something like that in the middle of a workout. Okay. Let's see. Yourmom.com. Yourmom.com, 1969. You know this is going to be a great question. Oh, man.
What's in the box?
Tits or ass? I. Fucking ass, man. Titties are overrated. I got titties. I got tits. I got nipples. All right. I already got those. I mean, I got an ass too, but
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Ass is absolutely a requirement. So if you take it to an extreme and you're like, she has huge tits, but a flat ass, or she has an amazing ass, but like small, like, boom, done. Seal the deal, done. Game fucking over. Game over. Like, tits, it can be a perk, but a lot of times I look at that, it's like, okay, it's because you're on birth control, or it's because you're like constantly inflamed and your endocrine system's jacked up, so you're swollen, so your body thinks it's always pregnant. Not across the board, but I mean, come on, you know, if you had to pick one, you need a solid pooper. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, because like if you take it to that first extreme, like, you know, really like amazing, perfect, and then boom, like so flat the walls are jealous. No way. No way. A flat ass. No, why does it precious? No. No. No, son. No way. Zone for Fittin. Papa Swolio, how many years do you have training? I have been training, let's see. I've been lifting in the gym, you know, in high school, but like when I really got serious, and I was doing it wrong freshman year, but that trigger moment where I was like doing early morning like elliptical, and I was lifting for a while, and I was like skinny ripped, and I'm like, this, eating like chicken and salads, I'm like, this did not work. This does not work. I'm not getting huge. Something's broken. And then I was like, I am going to get fucking huge. I'm going to find out how to do it. Like, I'm going to really find out how to fucking do it. That was the summer of 2002. So it's been over 20 years, but that was like summer of 2002 was like, I got huge. So I was already lifting seriously in like 99, 2000, 2001, but it was like, you know, I wasn't doing it right. But summer of 2002 was like, I am getting fucking huge. And I did. And after that, it was game on, baby. Gabo Salazu. Papa, what is the best or your favorite food in general? I mean, I love steak. I love steak. I love steak.
Loud noises!
I love bacon too. I haven't had bacon in a while. I haven't had bacon in a couple months. But I've just been a solid steak. I'm a steak man. My favorite, I just love fucking steak. Cesar Ortiz. Papa, greetings from Paraguay. What is going on? My guy, get you some gorillas. Greetings indeed. Terry, do I drink yerba mate tea to help burn fat? I don't. That's like grass water. I do not drink that. No, I do not. Are you asking me if you can burn fat with it, or you literally just said, do I drink? I do not. Thank God. I don't need to do that. Do you drink it? Or are you just asking me, like, my thoughts on it? Blue collar Jose. What happened to the IG? It is currently unavailable, but it's in the process of getting reinstated. So super excited about that. I did get my personal Facebook back. Don't have the public Facebook page. That's they're getting like a lot of spam posted on that, but the Instagram page is not available, period. So hopefully we're going to get that back up and everything should be underway soon, but it'll be back. I'm very, like, if you had to give me like a confidence level, I mean, the way things are going, I'd be very shocked. So I'm like at an 80 or 90% confidence that it'll come back. They'll have the Swole Enormous Instagram back soon. I was actually hoping or thought it would be back this past week. A little pissed off about that because I did get my personal Facebook back, but I thought I'd get the Instagram back already. So hopefully we should get it back this week, but I'll let you know. Keep you posted. I'll be super stoked. So I'll be talking a lot about it when we do. Okay. Billy, Papa was lifting before I was born. Fucking hell. Yow. Goddamn right. Okay, let's see here. Scrolling. Let's see. Let's take another call. We got one from Brandon. Brandon's on the line? Come on, man. Not that Brandon. A different Brandon. Record player, Brandon.
Hey, Papa, new unlimited member here. Loving all the content, the podcast, and loving the support from the Swole fam. Question, I'm a big guy, 6'1", 390. Do I need to be hitting a certain protein amount if I'm trying to gain muscle while losing weight? Thank you.
This is like, man, did the bunch of callers get together and be like, hey, we're going to ask a sequence of questions that's all going to kind of tie into one another. So 6'1", 390. Use a big boy. Use a big boy. Do you need to be getting a certain amount of protein? And look, you need to be getting in quality protein. Quality protein. I mean, 6'1", probably, I mean, you could probably be eating 150 to 200 grams of protein a day, but you need to be lifting heavy weights. Like, you need to be training appropriately to satisfy the need for that protein. So make sure you're lifting weights. You're going to build muscle. So if you're an unlimited member, I'm assuming, Brandon, that you did. You can also, I don't know if you're watching live, you can also follow up and call back in again, or during the accountability meeting, Brandon, tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time, we can talk more about it. But you need to be lifting weights, man. You're part of the fam. So I'm glad you're an unlimited member, so you have access to all the stuff. So hopefully you're lifting heavy. Hopefully you've done an elimination diet to this point. I know you're asking specifically about protein. Do I need to hit? You do need sufficient protein. So there's going to be no problem with you getting anywhere between 100 to 200 grams. I know that's a range, but like at 6'1", 150, 200, that wouldn't be a problem for you if you're lifting weights, lifting heavy, and you're cutting out all the other inflammatory foods. I don't know if you're getting in organ meats or not, but quality fats, quality protein, keep your carbohydrates more from like things like sweet potatoes, if you can go there, or, fruit. Make sure you're staying away from processed sugar and things like that, quality sleep, and all those other habitual lifestyle approaches. But sleep's going to be very important. Lifting heavy is going to be important. Being consistent and really crushing that nutrition. And you probably want to do something like a time restricted eating window, something like whether you want to call it intermittent fasting or just not eating all fucking day. But definitely smaller meals, maybe stretched out over 4 to 6 hours, get you 2 or 3 quality meals in, and then making sure you're focused on quality sleep and just being consistent, but make sure you're getting to the gym and lifting those heavy weights, brother. that's, I mean, the way with your mindset and you're already part of fam, I mean, I think you're going to have all the tools. Just give us a nice follow up and make sure that you are, so we can make sure that you're staying on point. But yeah, I would like to know, you're asking me, the thing is, here's what I always wish. So you said, is there a certain protein number? I want to know what you're currently doing. So, and let this be a message to anyone that's thinking about calling in or asking a question. If you don't know what you're currently doing, then how do you know what to change? So I'm not saying Brandon doesn't, but I'm just putting this out there. So when someone's like, oh, how many calories I should be eating? It's like, well, how many are you, like how much protein are you, or how much protein should be, how much are you currently eating? Well, I don't know. If you want to get analytical, that's fine, but you need to have the current data. It's like, hey, I'm eating this every single day. Is it consistent? If you're all over the place, your body isn't consistently having the tools and resources that I can access. So you want to be consistent. You want to make your body, you want to make this like a fucking machine, like well-oiled, like you're giving your body the fuel, boom, you're consistent as fuck with it. So once you lock down your habits, lock it in and just crush those 7 pillars every fucking day and just hammer, 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 hammer. And it's going to take time. It's going to take time, but make sure all those pillars are being covered. Your recovery is very important. Your hydration, electrolyte balance. And, you know, if you have a lot of like extra water weight and fat to lose, then up the protein, the fat, keep the carbs, you know, lower. I don't necessarily recommend going like full keto, but get those fruits in, some things like that, some carbohydrates, but just, you can fluctuate the carbohydrates based on how you feel, based on energy levels, and depends on what you're currently doing. Would be like, if I knew what you were currently doing to the detail, I'd be like, okay, here's my next move that I would recommend if it were me. So not knowing what you're doing, it's like, oh, eat this. I don't know exactly. I know you're a member, but I still don't know exactly all the details of what you're doing. So making those incremental changes is much better than just like, you know, 180. It could be a lot more stressful and hard to manage and hard to be consistent. Frank, don't you hate it when they make you feel old? I don't feel old. So, which is good. So it's funny. It's like, you know, geez, I mean, we're all getting older, but I don't feel it at all. So that's the thing. Like, do they feel old? Like, I don't feel old. And maybe this is what it's like. It's like, I don't know, am I just not going to feel old forever and then die? It's like, okay, hopefully I can just feel not old for a long time. It's a good feeling. Henry, do you take any supplements or are you getting everything from your meals? I don't take like vitamins or things like that, but I do, like beef liver would be my multivitamin. I do take some magnesium, magnesium malate or magnesium glycinate. I get some from the electrolytes, but I also have like powder. You can take some magnesium and things like that. In the winter, I might take some vitamin D, but it's still super sunny and I'm still getting probably not as much. I don't know if I'm getting vitamin D if the angle of the sun is still good. I might be getting a little bit, but I got so much this summer, so I'll be good. No, it's a good sign. It's a good sign to feel like you're not that age. So it's definitely a good thing. Nancy, can your tailbone start hurting after doing RDLs and maybe something else I did yesterday while cleaning the house that I don't remember doing, but today it's sore for some reason. Just wondering if there's a muscle, whatever, near that would give that type of soreness. Yeah, muscles attached to those bones. So your tailbone, you do have muscles like the glute muscles. You do have muscles that attach onto the deep, I don't know about the external rotators of the hip. Maybe some, I forget, but you have like the glute muscles and tendons and things like that in that area for sure. It can start hurt. It can hurt after RDLs, but it depends. Maybe you banged it or maybe you tweaked something. The thing is with like deep muscles like that, you might have it could be something like a short, quick movement that just, they get poor blood flow. So you might just have a little bit like soreness or feel like bruising for a little bit. Tendons and ligaments, that kind of like irritation or tweaks, that can linger a little bit, feel more uncomfortable. How bad does it hurt? Does it limit you from doing it or just feels like, oh, I feel something? You're moving constantly. There's a lot of stress in your body. And if you're moving, you said you're moving, cleaning around the house and putting patio furniture away, you might not have heard it in the moment, like, oh, that hurts, but you could have tweaked something. And then after you sat and got stiff for a little bit, then you're like, oh, I feel something like a bruise. You know, usually if it's like no pain, no problem, or if it like hurts a little bit, but it's not inhibiting you, I just either ice it or just be easy on it and just keep an eye on it. Dylan, what are some good electrolyte drinks? Cerny already answered that, but Relight or Element are what I consume. I go back and forth. Mama Swolio likes Element a little bit more. Relight's really good. Relight has 2 different types of magnesium in it, which I like. I also got the extra magnesium just because I want a little bit more in the morning or in the evening. But yeah, I use the Relight or the Element, and I love it. I love them. How do you pronounce this name? Daisy? If so, it's a really cool name to write it. Deyse. Amaro Borges. Cool name. Papa Swolio, I have a question, but it is too long. That's what she said. Oh! I had to. I always will. I always will. I'm gathering courage and English. I'm gathering courage and English. Gather that English. To send an audio. P.S. Papa, you are so very cute. Shh, Mama Swolio's gonna hear. I wish I could steal and keep you in my little world forever. I didn't read through that. Thank you. Your little world. It puts the lotion on its skin. Rufus he just sighed and he went, oh shit, she's watching? You're watching the show? She just made the not pleased face in the Telegram chat. She definitely heard, uh-oh. Wah, 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 wah.
Come on, man.
All right. Daisy, this will have to wait for a long, long time. Busted. It wasn't my fault. Thank you so much for the comment. I appreciate it. And I'm sure your English is just fine. Feel free to call in, ask a question, or try to manipulate me into your little world. And she says, respectfully, Mama Swole. I appreciate it. Yeah, Mama Swolio just said in the Telegram chat, skirt steak doesn't make itself. I make it. You know what? I'm making the skirt steak. Or are you making it? God damn it. All right. Midnight Rider, what up? Papa Swolio, what do you say to family members and, quote, friends who argue eating too much red meat will cause cancer and other disease? I say F them, but they're relentless. I mean, you already answered your own question. They're relentless with what? I mean, they haven't, how does it come up? You say it doesn't. Red meat doesn't cause fucking cancer. I mean, if you're burning your meat to a crisp, if you're eating low quality meats, if you're eating processed vegetable oils, you're cooking in olive oil and singeing and, putting those carcinogens, in your frying pan, you're cooking in Teflon, you're putting on deodorant and perfumes, and you're using Lysol all over your fucking house. You're getting experimental drugs injected into your body for your health and to protect everyone. If you are smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol or drinking soda, what are these people doing? Most people that are getting or sick or having issues do all sorts of other shit and then eat a fucking burger from McDonald's. Red meat causes cancer. Maybe eating nasty preserved garbage with processed vegetable oils and sugar and drinking a milkshake and a big gulp, that probably did it. Plus, they don't sleep. They fuck their eye holes with blue light all night. So they, not getting quality sleep every night is the number one reason people, it cuts decades off your fucking life. So it's not the meat. So, I mean, you say F them, but we mean they're relentless. They criticize you while you're eating. I'd be like, shut the fuck up, leave me alone, and just not hang out with them. Are you just promoting it to them or telling them to eat it? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got them. I have a lot of opinions. They can have opinions too. Be like, it's great. They're relentless. But how are they relentless? When does this come up? How does this come up? Like every time you're around, they're just like, you're eating too much red meat. And you're like, you're an idiot. There's that. All right. Your boy is asking a question. All right. Your boy's got a question. Papa Swolio, how do you navigate living with a fairly unhealthy family? My stepsister is obese and her mother constantly fills the house with junk food and pushes it onto me. Well, no one can force you to eat something. I don't know how old you are, your boy, but do you have a job? Can you buy your own food and make your own food? Can you move the fuck out? Obviously, you're living with a fairly unhealthy family, so obviously you're living with them. How old are you? Like, do you have your own income? Here's the thing. If you are, and this is the shit of it, like if you are not making the money and buying the food and cooking the food, then you don't really have a choice, do you? You can ask and maybe you're in a family where your mother is cooking and she's like, oh, sweet, yeah, I'll get you this. Like, that's awesome. But obviously, if it's like, it's my money, I'm not making that. That's the thing. You probably don't have a choice. So it depends on how you navigate that. You get the fuck out, or you make your own money and you make your own food. And I don't know what situation you have with your family or how big your family is or what the finances are like. But if you don't have control of that, then you don't have many options. Like you back yourself more into a corner. So more details with that. It's hard to navigate that for sure if you don't have control. Hashtag Team Mama Swolio. Medea. I'm on Team Mama Swolio too. See what you did, Daisy? Or is it my fault for being so cute? Speaking of cute, oh, look at that Tainty man. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute.
And that's the way, I like it. They see on the sunshine band.
Quick, Tainty reprieve. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Midnight Rider. They'll defend eating industrial waste before seeing the benefit of the real quality nutrient-dense foods. Preacher Papa Swolio. I'm just curious more about the situation. Yeah, you're definitely right, Feff them, but they're relentless. People are going to be relentless. People don't want to. One of the hardest things for people to do, or anyone to do, is admit. It's not just admitting. How often do people admit when they're wrong? Okay. But also, if they agree with you, they have to recognize that they've been consciously fucking themselves up all these years. They don't want to look at them like they're going to tell you how to live your life without taking care of their own shit. And really what that is them projecting like, hey, you should get healthier. You should be healthy. When they're really kind of talking to themselves, they're projecting it onto you. And a lot of people don't want to. A lot of times when this happens, we talk about this with coworkers and friends and family, that when you take care of your health and people see you doing that, it's really a mirror. They see you doing what they're not doing and you're getting progress. And because they're seeing what you're doing and they know they're not doing that, it reflects on them that they're not doing it right or potentially not doing it right. And the ego gets hurt and they get defensive rather than actually taking action or being like, why is he doing that? Let me look into that. Maybe things that I've been taught or told aren't correct. Maybe if he's getting muscle or he's doing great or X, Y, and Z, maybe I should do that too. No, it's like, no, you're wrong. You should do it my way. Just keep on crushing it and get amazing results and keep on being fantastic. And eventually people are going to notice that, oh shit, maybe what he's doing fucking works. So you can say whatever the fuck you want about me. You can say whatever the fuck, like, you shouldn't be doing that. Aren't you not healthy? Like, I see people outside. They don't look healthy. They objectively don't look healthy. Like, in so many different ways. And most people don't know anything about it. TCAP, red meat got the blame for what sugar, seed oils, tobacco, and alcohol did. Preach, dude. Preach. And other lifestyle habits, right? Josh, uncle was just diagnosed with prostate cancer, so it seems to run in my dad's family. We'll be on top of that. Yeah, I mean, but of course there are certain things with like genetics, right, that you're predisposed to. So you got to keep an eye on those things and, yeah, stay on it. Ray Lopez, Papa Swolio, is height really all genetic? I'm asking because there can be folks that are 6'4" despite their parents and grandparents being well under 6 feet tall. It is genetic, but there's also recessive genes too. And I'm not a geneticist, and there's still a lot of things we don't know about genetics, but there could be a lot of, there are always flukes, but there are also, certain genes that are recessive that will skip a generation or X, Y, and Z. And when certain things match up, then you'll have a tall child. But that's kind of common. You'll have parents are really short, or haven't there been situations where you have two, like, you can't say midgets anymore, right? Or little people that have a really tall person, like little people, you could be really short and have a giant child. But also nutrition plays a big role in that too. But I don't know about the United States, like because you have malnutrition. If you don't get proper nutrition, you can definitely have limited bone growth and stuff like that. But that's like serious malnutrition. It might happen only in like third world countries. Not sure how much that would happen, but it definitely could play a factor, I would assume. But it might not make it like, oh, you would have been 6 inches taller if you had more steak. Like, I don't know if it's, as far as I know, it's mostly genetic. Luck of the draw. Holy shit, Yvonne. Papa Swolio, any specific protein powder brand you recommend, since all my doctors keep recommending garbage Ensure? Jesus.
Matt Damon.
Ensure is literally industrial waste. They recommend this like in hospitals and stuff. Ensure is trash. Fucking trash. Trash. It's disgusting. The ingredients are disgusting on that. There's one that Mama Swolio liked. It's actually a beef protein. You can get, like, instead of like grass-fed whey, if you have issues with lactose, you can get beef protein isolate. There are ones that don't have like sunflower lecithin and stuff like that. You just could do a search on Amazon, like beef protein isolate. You can get that too. So if you have issues with whey protein, but of course you want to look for grass-fed beef protein isolate or grass-fed whey protein isolate. But some people have issues with lactose, and even though it's lesser in isolate than concentrate and dairy. Raw milk can be great too. A lot of people that might have issues with lactose don't with raw milk. Your boy completely agree about the mirror point. Apparently I don't eat enough, but I'm losing weight and feel great. So rather do that instead of eating processed junk. Did you answer? Like, do you have, okay. I missed that part. Your boy says, I'm 21. I'm back to university next year, so it'll be way easier then. I make my own food and tend to avoid eating out with them. Oh, so you're doing really well. Let's get a round of applause. Respect. That's hard. Okay, cool. A lot of people say that, and it's like they don't have any tools. I saw your little avatar. For all I know, you're like 14 years old. Back to university next year, so it'll be way easier then. Yeah, you're almost out, right? I mean, I'm assuming you're going to move out. You're just there for like the summer or for like a break or something like that. You make your own food. You tend to avoid eating out with them. So it's just stressful when all those temptations are around you. And are they criticizing you? Are they giving you shit for making food and doing that? Like, oh, we're not good enough for you? Or what do you... A lot of people, that you have to get so used to that. It's just harder when you have that kind of stuff coming from your family. It's just harder when you get it coming from your family. People didn't understand, like, when I first started doing this. But then it was more like intrigue, though. Like, I always got support. But I remember when I was like in college and I started taking creatine, like my parents were worried, like, oh my God, creatine, like, is that, really bad? To show them all this like information about it, which is fine. I showed them information like, oh, okay. It's not, people used to think like, this is like in the late 90s, early 2000s, people thought creatine was like steroids or something like that. So I'm like, no, it's just, blah, blah, blah. Now people don't even think twice, like, oh, creatine is whatever. But I'm telling you, they used to think, because fitness wasn't it was, I guess it was more mainstream. It was getting there, like in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was getting there because of Arnold and Sylvester Stallone. It was like the 90s jacked, like, so being huge, but of course those, they were saucing up and stuff like that. But the big, strong action hero, that was like the 80s and 90s. But fitness wasn't as mainstream. And of course, it really started kicking up in the 90s. And, the 80s was like Jane Fonda, Richard Simmons bullshit. Okay, we're about to wrap this up because I'm going to have to go cook some skirt steak and have to deal with that shit. No, I'm kidding. Mama Swolio says it's Be Well by Kelly, grass-fed beef protein. Opportunities, grass-fed whey protein isolate. I don't know if we have both of those. You can get those on Amazon. Opportunities, grass-fed whey protein isolate, unflavored. I think the Opportunities has like sunflower lecithin. Like sometimes they put them in there to keep like the powder separate. But I hate any of those like additives. But you can find some of that stuff with beef protein. Nothing added if you're doing proteins. Let's see. Let's get another question. Let's follow up with the questions because we have two more. We got to wrap up. Joshua, you're on the sleeves.
Papa Swole, love you and thank you for telling me to go to the fucking gym.
Yeah, right, bro.
All right. My question: when did you get big physically, and how much money do you make?
I got big physically. What was it? August 7th, 1983. Oh, that's boring. Yeah. I came out. You should see that. We have pictures. It came out. Fucking front double bicep when I was born. Came out. I was like 6% body fat. It's fucking freakish. How much money do I make? Not going to go there. Enough to power, enough to have the things that I need and take care of my family and do the Daily Swole podcast and create awesome content for the Swole fam. So enough to have a, how about this? Enough to have a freezer full of beef. So I can fill my extra deep freezer. I can pack it full of delicious beef. So for me, and have my home gym. So that's that's wealth. For me, that's wealth. So let's get a little America for that one.
America! Fuck yeah!
That's how I gauge it. I'm not a fancy man. But I appreciate the question, and I'm glad you went to the fucking gym. All right, last one, because all the calls in, I want to make sure that it's rich. All of us living in this country, especially everyone watching this right now, we're like in the top 1% of the world, considering a lot of people are really struggling. So, by my standards,
Papa Swolio,
living right.
How do I convince my friends not to skip leg day?
That's fucking bullshit.
Inconceivable!
Oh, you misspoke, my friend. You should not be calling them friends.
I was kidding!
They ain't your
I
friends.
was only kidding!
How would I convince my friends to stop skipping leg day? They're not your fucking friends. They're not your fucking friends. Don't. They'll find out. Just fucking train legs. Just do it. Just smash yours. Just fucking go hard. Legs are the most important. The most important. And here's the thing. They don't train legs. Hate training legs? Doesn't matter. Love training legs? Doesn't matter. Helps? Doesn't matter. Hate training legs? Doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Do it. Do it. I train legs 2 or 3 times a week. I fucking love it. It's one of the most, I say don't pick favorites. I don't have favorites, but I love nothing like a solid leg day. Nothing like a solid leg day. So what do I tell my friends? You could call them fucking jabronis. You can be like, you call them chodes, call them goddamn beaches. Just do it. Like, it doesn't matter if they skip it, does it? One, are they really friends? You're really going to call those people friends? You need some, you need some new friends. Okay? You need some new friends. 2, it doesn't matter what they do. Your friends are going to eat shit. They're going to skip leg day. They're going to blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 1, get new friends. 2, it doesn't matter what they do. What matters is what you do. What matters is what you do. You train legs. You crush it. Fuck what anyone else does. Make sure you're getting yours. All right, let's give away today's Swole card. Good question, though, Xavier.
Sorry about your shitty friends. Okay. They skip leg day. You skip your fucking friends. Here we go. Drum roll, Falcon. Take us away. Let's give away a fucking Swole card. Accountability meeting tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. Join the fam today. SwolNumbersX.com. Did I land on one? I didn't. That is a post with no hashtag. Falcon. Pick me a non-chode. That's not a comment. That's not a comment. No. Oh, someone didn't get a YouTube. No one got a YouTube. We got a winner. It's Elizabeth. Elizabeth T. Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Fantastic. I feel like you won one recently. Amazing. Amazing. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2375 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email, and we'll send you a Swole privilege card. Congratulations. All right, fantastic. Now remember, everyone, you gotta tell Mama Swolio, it wasn't my fault. That was unprompted. I just read the questions. I read the questions when they come up. I'm gonna make a serious. I'm gonna cook a serious skirt steak. I'm gonna cook the fuck out of it. It's gonna make everything all better. That's how important a quality steak is. You cook an amazing steak, no one gives a shit. It's so fucking good. It makes everything all right. It's dark so early. What the fuck?
What the fuck is that?
It's so goddamn early. Look at that taint. Look at that tainty man. That tainty boy. We also got a church in the house too. They're all sleeping while Daddy makes gains. Any soundboard requests, we'll take them.
What are you using that for? I don't think it means what you think it means.
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
Facts. I got you, Josh.
Emotional damage.
Oh, we got it now. We got it now.
How shall we back off, oh Lord? That's a huge bitch.
Look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there like a little lady in a race car.
Go, Lizzo.
You can be fat and be healthy. I'm sorry, Lizzo, healthier than I'll ever be.
Tyrannical tuck request.
There's tiny tuck, typical tuck, total tuck, and the tyrannical tuck.
Savage. Going for the tyrannical tuck on a Sunday. Is it the Q&A-ness already? Hi, church. Good morning. You woke up, sweet girl. Want to play the piano with me? You got it? Piano cock. Don't look. Don't look down. Don't look. Whew. All right, we got it. We did it. Look at that. Good girl. Good girl. All right, wrap it up. Cranking it up with the left hand. It's a little bit awkward. Get it up there. All right, fantastic. So, fam, tomorrow, accountability meeting, 12 noon Eastern time. SwoleNormousX.com. Links down below. We'll see you there. We'll be back here, of course, for 2377 for Tainty Tuesday. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Okay, you're so cute. You're so cute. You smell so good. You need a bath, though, but you smell good. She has a good dog smell, but she's very doggy. All right, fam. We'll see you tomorrow for the accountability meeting. And very nice. Let's go make some sick fucking gains. I'm going to go cook a steak. I'll see you in a little bit, mama. All right, peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now the king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in a fanny pack, couple hundred in a Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made, that's a bed that you made, that's a bed that you made, that's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and